This video goes out to all the young teenagers out there. Some of you are not even teenagers, and grown adults who don't know no better, that is out here having sex out of wedlock and not married, and that have a possibility of coming up pregnant while doing it. The reason why I felt compelled to speak on this today is because I just seen a video on today about another young lady speaking about it. And in case you all don't catch her message, maybe you all will catch mine, because it needs to be said. It needs to be put out here for you all to listen and learn from. I'm a single mom of 3, okay? My youngest is 12, my oldest is 16. And I love all 3 of them equally. But I cannot sit here and tell you that I don't get stressed out from doing everything on my own. I can't tell you that, because I literally do everything on my own without government assistance of any type. Now, I'm one of the very fortunate single moms out here that my kid's dad, my children's dad, do try to help out to the best of their ability. I can say that, because raising a child is more than just money. It's about being there emotionally. It's about being there physically. It's about being there through the ups, the downs, the good and the bad. You have to be there. Now, at one point in time in my life, I was barely able to get along with my own kids' dad, because I resented them so much for leaving me high and dry while taking care of their children on my own. I resented them. I hated them. I couldn't even stand and look at them. I couldn't even stand and look at the sight of them. I just couldn't, because my heart was broken. Did I ever pray to be a single mom? No, I did not. I never wanted this situation. I never prayed for this situation. But this is the situation I put myself in due to my own actions. I can't sit here and tell you that my mama didn't warn me. She did. But it was by my own choices, my own stupidity, my own rebelliousness that caused me to end up in this situation. Let me be the first one to tell you, it's hard. It's going to be times at night that if you have a baby and you have to raise that child by yourself, that you're going to want to sleep, but that child is going to need something. It's going to be times where you're going to want to go out with your friends, but you're not going to even have the money to do it, because you're doing this all on your own. It's going to be times that you're so overwhelmed with just having to take care of children by yourself that you may have to cry while taking a shower or something when your child is not around. It's going to be times where you resent the father so much for the decisions they make, and you feel like they're not suffering the consequences like you are, because they don't have that baby 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the only thing you could do is hold your peace, because you still have a child to take care of with this man. Let me be the first one to tell you, I'll never forget the day when I was 18 years old and I crossed the stage getting my high school diploma. And then I went off into adulthood. And my mom was the happiest mom ever because she knew that she done her job to make sure that I got my high school diploma. My mom done the very best that she can to make sure that I got my high school diploma. Not only that, my mom had help to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, the majority of the responsibility was off on my mom. See, I had a stepfather growing up. And I never did really understand how important he was to me until I got older. The things that he was trying to input in me, I couldn't grasp it at the time. But now that I do understand, I appreciate it. See, I know who my biological father is. My mama never hid this from me. But there's certain things that he just could not quite grasp about me because he wasn't a woman. But my mom understood the assignment, as they say. Till this day, I thank my mom for always being there for me because she didn't have to be. She could have been one of those mothers out there that just stepped out on me, but she never did. I had aunties, I had uncles and stuff that was keeping an eye on me to make sure that I at least crossed the stage with my high school diploma. And I thank them from the bottom of my heart for the ones who was really there for me and accepted me for me. But let me be the first one to tell you, being a single mom of 3 children is not easy. When you get money in your hand from working, like I do, half of that money is already gone before it even hits your account. Because you got bills to pay, you got to bring food in the house, you got to pay health insurance, you got to pay life insurance, you got to pay for pharmacy benefits, you got to pay for dental insurance, you got to worry about your child getting glasses or whatever, you got to worry about after school activities, it's a lot to go with it. So the money that you get is never your own. It always goes out the door. You think that, well, maybe this month I'm able to go get my hair done at the beautician. I have some time to myself. But then you look at your child and say, well, you know what? They need something. So your needs is completely left out the door. It's them. And until you find a way to balance that, you'll never really have money unless you're just some type of multi-millionaire. And even if you are a multi-millionaire, it does not stop the fact is that you're going to be lonely at times. You're going to want, your family and your friends say, oh, we'll be there for you. But the person that you really want to be there is their dad. And it takes a long time to heal from that hurt and that agony and that pain. It takes a long time. Because in the back of your mind, you're thinking, me and you could have made it. But you decided to walk out that door and do what you want to do, rather than being a responsible man and doing right by your family. It's even a harder dagger when your own baby father meets somebody else and he decides to take care of that family, a child that wasn't even his when he walked into it, and then create more babies, and he forget about the very thing that he created first. That is a hard pill to swallow. If that don't want to make you fight, I don't know what will. And even then, you have to find a way to forgive and move on. I'm here to tell you, young ladies and young gentlemen out here, it's not worth having a baby out of wedlock. It ain't even worth having sex outside of marriage, honestly, to tell you the truth. Because that 5 minutes of pleasure could lead to a lifestyle of struggle, pain, and lifetime healing. It took me years to just be able to have a conversation with my kid's dad. Years. When I tell you years, I'm talking about my youngest is 12, my oldest is 16. I say at least 4 to 5 years before I was able to even really talk to my kid's dad and have a decent conversation over the phone. And I'm glad that we finally got to this point, because now that I have let go of all the hurt and all the pain they have caused me, I'm able to be a better mom to my own children. But at first, that hurt and that pain, it was eating me up from the inside out. And everyone always told me to let it go, but I didn't know how, because I was hurt. Young ladies and gentlemen out there, I have one message for you. The wages of sin is death. It is true. Look it up in the Bible for yourself, it's there. Because when you sin and have consequences, when you sin, it may feel good right then and there, but when them consequences hit you in your butt, you're gonna wish that you never done it. So I'm here to tell you, learn from a person like me who is currently in these shoes. Don't have babies out of wedlock. Don't have sex before marriage. Because even if you don't have a baby out of wedlock, when a young woman lays down with a young man, it's feelings that begin to happen. And it may be lust, but you're mistaking it for love. And you can't even distinguish between the two, because you already have a soul tie. Remember, young ladies, we are receivers. We are not givers, we're receivers. So whatever spirit that man is carrying, he's bringing it over to you. You wonder why half of y'all up here losing your hair, wondering why you lose your mind, wondering what happened to you over the years. It's because of all them spiritual soul ties. See, I don't know not one woman who could lay down with the man and walk away and say that there was never any feelings involved. I don't know not one. Unless it was just a straight up booty call and you had it in your head, that's all it was. Because I can honestly say, I went through that stage of my life where I was numb. But I stopped because I realized at the end that if I didn't, that it could have more of a harsh effect. And I'm glad that I learned this early on in life, in my very early 20s, versus being the age that I am right now and keep on going with that same behavior that could lead into other things that I really don't want. But just know, young ladies, that if you out here having sex, looking for love, that's not the way to go. Sometimes we have to isolate ourselves. I'm not going to say completely isolate yourself, but we have to be by ourselves in order to find out how to love ourselves. And I wish I would have done it sooner when I was younger versus having 3 kids, having to take care of them, having to take care of me, and then finding out how to love myself at the end. So don't worry about what other people have to say about you when you're deciding to just be by yourself. It's not worth it. Another thing is, before I wrap up this call, anytime you're masturbating, you are opening up yourself to demonic portals that you don't want. You think it's self-gratification, but at the end of the day, by you doing that, it's going to make you feel worse and worse and worse about yourself over time. It may not feel like that right then and there, but over time, it'll begin to show. Also, if you're doing this stuff constantly and that thing becomes a part of you, eventually you'll start attracting men that the sex is the only thing they want because of the aura that you put out there from what you're doing. And I learned this from another young lady, and I decided to take her word for it versus learning the hard way. So I'm just here to give this message today. I hope that you all listen. I hope that you all take what I'm telling you to heart. I don't know everything, but what I can tell you, single motherhood is not it. And for the young guys out there that's saying that they would never date a single mom, if that's your preference, that's fine. But don't sit here and drag single moms into the mud when you're talking about us. Because we're human just like you. And you never know. By you over here being so close-minded, talking about, oh, I'll never date a single mom. Oh, they're this, they're that, they're the other. That single mom may have everything that you want in a woman. But yet you missed the boat because you was worried about her past versus where she's at right now and where she is going. But that's all I have for today. Have a nice day.